Hey heroes and welcome to this New World video. With the release of July patch came a bunch of updates to New World. One of these is the way that legendary items now drop from creatures 59 to 63. In today's video I want to show you all the creatures in Reekwater that have been affected by this change. Please note that creatures level 59 still have an extremely low chance of getting above 590, whereas closer towards 63 has a much higher chance now. So first up we're going to do the Blightbringer. What you'll need to do is travel down to the left hand side fast travel of Reekwater and then travel over to the area marked on the map. Once you get there is a little angry earth creature. It's not too difficult to kill and you can probably do this on your own. So the item you can get from the Blightbringer is the Band of Demon Dusk. This is a ring with Constitution and Intelligence. It's got a Lightning Ward gem in, Keen Awareness which increases your critical chance, Refreshing which reduces your maximum cooldowns, and Hearty which increases your maximum stamina. Overall a pretty best piece for any mage, and the only thing letting it down really is that Lightning Ward, which isn't very flexible and not useful for a lot of content that's in the game at the moment. Next up we have the Surgeon. He can be found in Skyview Repose. This is on the left hand side of Reekwater. You can get there from the Reekwater settlement, or you could travel over to Lazarus Shrine and then run over from there. Again, this boss isn't too difficult and you could probably handle this one on your own. So the items you can get from the Surgeon. First we've got Rudiger's Sail Hook. This is an earring with strength on, has a slash ward gem, refreshing to reduce your maximum cooldowns, luck, which is going to increase your luck, and then Healthy Toast. When you drink a mana potion, gain 9.4% of your max health. Overall, a nice little starter luck earring for somebody who is a strength user. Next up we have Bone Rot. Bone Rot is a Void Gauntlet with Focus Intelligence. That's nice, that's what it scales from. Has an empty gem slot for you to use. It's got a weapon perk on there, so on hit, Orb of Decay reduces the duration of target's non-consumable buffs by 68%. Then we have Kingly Jagged and Keen, so they're two BIS perks for damage there. So overall this would be a nice starter PvP Void Gauntlet for somebody with your weapon perk and then two BIS perks on that. Finally, it's probably worth mentioning that the Ancient Mandible still drops on the Surgeon. This is the trophy map material for the major Ancient Combat Trophy. Next we have Mayapar. Mayapar can be found in Congregation, which is a cave just above Skyview Repose where the Surgeon was. Mayapar is a golden elite named bear, so you may wish to do this in a group, especially if you're a squishy DPS. It is still an angry earth enemy, so slash weapons or fire staff will be helpful. So the items you can get from Mayapar. First we have Hoop of Navarone. This is a ring with focus and dexterity, not an ideal combination of stats. You've got a physical ward gem in there. It's got Refreshing, which reduces your maximum cooldowns, Siphoning, which is going to give you mana back on hit, and Thrust Damage, which increases your Thrust Damage by 4.8%. The best thing you could do with this is probably ignore the focus, because Refreshing and Thrust Damage is quite nice if you're using a bow or a spear or something like that, but you'd have to take the hit on the focus and having the Siphoning perk on there. Wild Blight. This is a Void Gauntlet with Focus and Intelligence that it does scale from. It's got Enchanted, Keenly Fortified, and Keenly Empowered. So Enchanted is going to do extra damage on your light and heavy attacks, and then these two perks here are going to give you extra defense and then extra attack whenever you crit. So this is focused on critting. Overall, it's not a bad one. It's got the extra damage and you get defense and extra attack and critting, which is what the Void Gauntlet's already good at anyway. Next we have Mayapar's Fist. This is a hammer with strength. It's got an opportunist gem built in, which does 20% extra damage against targets less than 30% health, so good on bosses. It's got Keen and Vicious and Keenly Empowered. So this is basically a better Fury because it's already got the gem in for you. So if you want to farm that instead of Lazarus for the Fury, that is an option for you. Finally, we have Doom's Edge. This is a hatchet with Constitution and Strength, which is nice. It's got Ignited in there, which is a gem. 50% of the damage is converted to fire. It's got Chain Fire as a perk, so basic attacks are going to trigger a chain reaction. Keen Speed, on critical gain 20% haste, and Mortal Lifesteal. When you kill something, you gain 6.8% of your health, and that's got a 1 second cooldown. This would be a good starter weapon for something like Genesis, because the hatchet's already strong against it. It's already got your fire gem in and your chain fire. Keen Speed is not that important in PvE, but you'll be getting your life back with that Mortal Lifesteal, and that can happen every second, so you'd have good sustain on that. Now we have the Grotto's Thorn. This can be found in Viri's Grotto, which is just to the top right of the Reekwater settlement. This is a silver named Elite Tendril. You may wish to fight this in a group. There are a few enemies in the area, and sometimes tendrils can cause people problems. It is an angry earth enemy, so again, slash weapons and fire staff will be helpful here. So the items you can get from the Grotto's Thorn. First up, we have the Grotto Seed. This is a life staff with 30 focus. It has an opportunist gem in, but I'd swap that out for a diamond for the extra healing. Then we have Blessed, which every healer wants to see on a life staff. Siphoning Blow, you gain mana back per hit on a 2-second cooldown. And then Kind, you generate less threat. So there's good synergy there. All those perks work with the life staff, and if you do take a lot of threat, then the Kind is going to help, and it's kind of like a safe life staff to use. Maybe if you're just getting started, ideally you'd want to start looking for something that's got Fortify and Sacred Ground on as well as Blessed, since that's been updated. But a nice one to keep you safe. Then we've got the Grove Warden. This is a sword with Constitution and Intelligence. I'd rather not have the Intelligence on there. Cruel, 12% extra damage against targets with an active crowd control ability. If you're tanking, that would be swapped out for a Carnelian for the taunts. Angry Earthbane, extra damage against Angry Earths. Refreshing move, light and heavy attacks reduce your weapon cooldowns, which is nice on a sword to get your taunts back quicker. And then Chain Void, when you attack, it'll cause a chain reaction of Void to bounce between targets. Chain Void isn't nice with the Angry Earth, because they're weak to fire and not void, and you also got the intelligence on there. So for me, I'd only collect this because I'm a completionist. I probably wouldn't use it in a practical way. There's better swords out there. Now we have Thorn of the Heartwood. This can be found at Shimakagai on the right hand side of Reekwater, right next to Siren's Shrine. Once you get here, you need to make your way up the stairs, continue to the upper floor, and you'll find Thorn of the Heartwood there. This is a silver named ancient enemy, and you may be able to handle this one on your own. So the items you can get from Thorn of the Heartwood. First up, we have Voyages Passage Token. This is an earring with dexterity. It's got a gem in with Strike Ward. You've got Refreshing on there, which is going to reduce your maximum cooldowns. Focused, which is going to increase your mana regen. And then Refreshing Evasion. When you dodge, you reduce your cooldowns. So overall, if you just try and get your abilities back as quick as possible, this would be a good piece with the Refreshing and Refreshing Evasion. It's not ideal because it's got the Focused on there, but if you're looking for a starter piece and you're going to look for something better, then this could be the one for you. So next up we have Razor Talon. This is a Great Axe with 30 strength, which is nice. That's what the damage is based off. Ignited, 50% of the damage is converted to fire. Angry Earthbane, extra damage against Angry Earth. Mortal Lifesteal, when you kill something you gain 6.8% of your health on 1 second cooldown. That's nice because there's a lot of healing perks already in the Great Axe, and that does work well with that. And then Keenly Empowered, when you crit you gain 15% in power for 5 seconds. That's on a 10-second cooldown. So overall, this would be a nice piece to take into Genesis. You got your Angry Earthbane on there. You've already got your Fire Gem in. You've got the healing abilities to keep you going, and then extra damage. So nice piece overall. Now we have Smoothbore Samuel. He can be found just north of the Sirens Run Fast Travel, which is located on the right hand side of Reekwater. He is a lost named brute, and you may wish to bring a group for this one. He is a chunky boy. His attack hits quite hard, and he is quite relentless with all of those attacks. So the items you can get from Smoothbore Samuel. First up, we have Buccaneers Bounty. This is a hatchet with 30 constitution. It's got an empty gem slot for you to use. Mortal Power. When you kill something, you gain 15% in power for 20 seconds with a 1 second cooldown. Got Whirlpool, which increases your headshot damage, and Empowering Rending Throw. Ranged hatchet attacks deal 30% more damage versus Rending Throw targets. So what that means is you hit them with the Rending Throw, and then any extra attacks are going to deal more damage. Overall, this is going to be a throw and hatchet weapon, because obviously with the Vorpal you can only get headshots if you're throwing the hatchet. You can't get headshots from melee attacks. So this would be used specifically for a hatchet throw build. Next up we have Shot Across the Bow. This is a musket with 20 dexterity and 10 intelligence. That's what it scales from, so that's nice. Got Rally already on there, so 15% damage while you're at full health. Beastbane, extra damage to Beast. Life Stealing, you get 5% of your damage back as health, doesn't affect damage over time. And then Luck. So this is overall just, if you're looking for a luck item to use while you're out farming, this would be good. And if you happen to run across some beasts, that's even better. Finally, let's take a look at the 3 named enemies that you'll find in the Elite Zone for Castle Drift in the bottom right of Reekwater. If you enter and keep following the path up until you get to the point where you can turn right and there's another ramp leading up to a house, just follow that ramp, go into the house and go upstairs and you'll find the first enemy there, the Sirens Guide. If you go left where we previously turned right, follow the ramps all the way to the top, turn right and go straight across. You'll find another house and the Sirens Fist is on the top floor of that house. And if you go forward where we previously turned sideways, follow the ramps that lead upwards, and then when you get to the point where you can turn right and head back down, follow that path, go around the outside, and there you will find the Siren's Gun. I suggest doing these enemies with a full group. This is an elite zone and these enemies will be difficult. Now let's take a look at the items you can now get from Forecastle Drift. First up, the Sirens Fist. We have the Sirens Staccato. This is an ice gauntlet with strength and intelligence, so would be best paired with the blunderbuss. We have the Cruel Gem, 12% extra damage against enemies with crowd control. Vicious, which is going to increase your critical damage. Siphoning Blow, which is going to give you mana back per hit. And then Mortal Siphoning, when you kill something, you gain 10% mana on a 1 second cooldown. Overall, it's going to be okay paired with the blunderbuss. As I said, you got the crit damage on there, and then 2 perks here that's going to help you get mana back. So if you're worried about that, then this would be okay starter weapon for you. And then we have the Carve Mast of the Ranger. This is medium headwear with 25 dexterity and an empty gem slot. It's got refreshing power shot. Power shot kills reduce the ability's cooldown by 52%. Refreshing ward, it's when you get hit, you're going to reduce your cooldowns after 4 hits. And vigor. Burn, bleed and poison expires 10% faster. Overall not a bad piece I guess as a start piece, but medium headwear doesn't fit into maximum loadout, so it would just be a transition piece for you. Then we have the Sirens Guide. We've got Wave Rush. This is a spear with dexterity and intelligence, so best paired with a musket to get the most out of that. Electrified, 50% of the damage is converted to lightning. Refreshing Ward reduces your active cooldowns when you get hit 4 times. Again, not one of my favourite perks. It's got Enchanted on there. Light and heavy attacks deal more damage. And the Mortal Fortification, when you kill something you gain 15% fortify for 10 seconds on a 1 second cooldown. So overall, yeah, you pair that with the musket if you wanted to. You get the extra damage from Enchanted and you get a bit more protection when you kill something. Not a bad piece if you're just looking for a spear to get started with. Then we have the Sirens Legato. This is a fire staff with dexterity and intelligence. I'd probably pair that with a rapier with a magic weapon to get the most out of that damage. And then empowered, 50% of the damage is converted to arcane, although you could swap that out. Keenly fortified on critical, gain 10% fortify. Siphoning Blow, when you hit, you gain mana back. And Mortal Power, when you kill something, you gain 15% in power for 20 seconds. Not a bad piece there. You've got the protection when you crit, you get some extra damage as well, and you get your mana back. So it's a pretty flexible one. And again, I'd pair that with a rapier due to the stat distribution there. Finally, we have the Siren's Gun. First on that, we have the Wild Justice. This is a musket with constitution and dexterity. That's nice because that's what it scales from. Ignited, which converts 50% of the damage done to fire. Angry Earthbane, which is extra damage to Angry Earth. And Power Shooter's Stance, which has been improved drastically now. Hitting a target line, Shooter's Stance grants him power, increasing the damage by 40% for 3 seconds. And then Mortal Energy, when you kill something, you gain 34 stamina every second. So if you were to use a musket against Angry Earth, which I wouldn't recommend, but you could, then the Angry Earthbane and the Fire Gem are paired up already nicely to get the extra damage. The Shooter's Stance perk is amazing now. Mortal Energy, if you kill something you have the benefit of getting the extra stamina, helps you get away and stay safe. And finally, we have the Whirlpool. This is a blunderbuss with strength, which is nice, that's the primary stat for it. It's got a diamond already in there, so you do extra damage while you're at full health. It's got a weapon perk on, which is nice, crippling blast shot. Targets hit by blast shot are slowed, reducing their movement for 32% for 5 seconds, probably more useful in PvP. Shirking Abyss. Dodging through an enemy attack causes your next hit within 6 seconds to deal additional damage as Void. And then Keen Speed, on critical, gain haste for 10 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. Overall, I think this would be better in PvP. You've got the weapon perk there which slows people down. You've got the haste ability there, help you catch up or run away. And then you've got the shirking ability, which is quite often used in PvP to get the extra damage and you're dodging a lot. And that's all the new legendary items that you can get from Reekwater after the update. Please comment below which one's your favourite, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.